Alright, so this is the Rodecaster Pro first generation, which is our audio board here in the mini studio. You'll use this board to mix various inputs of sound. Obviously, the multiple microphones that you will use. Microphone 1 will always be in the mini studio, but you'll be able to plug in 2 additional mics. You will also use this board to mix any audio that you play from the USB computer, as well as any audio you'd like to play from a Bluetooth device, such as music from your phone or even a phone call. To begin, you're going to need to turn up the fader for the channel of the mic that you're going to be using. Like I said, mic number 1 is always going to be in the studio, so I'll start by raising the fader for mic number 1. Once I start tapping on the mic, you're going to see the levels spiking. The levels under where it says number 1 is the levels for that specific channel, and over here is the levels for the overall mix. Each channel has its own mute and solo options. If I click on the mute button, now that channel is muted and the audio output is no longer sent to the TriCaster, and vice versa. If I click on solo, then that channel is no longer heard. When you're mixing your audio, you want to make sure that you're reaching appropriate levels. This knob over here labeled headphones is where you'll be able to set your preferred volume on the headphone of the technical director mixing on the TriCaster. You should start at 1 o'clock and adjust as per your preference. This knob over here will allow you to adjust the volume for any sounds playing out on the speaker in the mini studio. The final knob in use is this one labeled main out, and this will control the overall loudness of the overall mix being sent into the TriCaster as input 1 on the audio mixer inside the TriCaster. So raising the volume on this knob will increase the levels of the overall mix from the Rodecaster Pro being sent into the TriCaster's audio mixer. In order to pair a Bluetooth device onto the Rodecaster Pro, simply click on the Bluetooth button to make the Rodecaster Pro board discoverable, and then go onto your phone or other device and connect to Bluetooth as you would any other device. So let me do that real quick. Now that I've connected my phone to the Rodecaster Pro via Bluetooth, I'm able to play any sound off of my phone, such as music, and then raise the Bluetooth fader in order to see its levels. If I would like to hear it on the speaker, all I need to do is turn up the speaker volume over here and on the speaker. There are various other features native to the Rodecaster Pro board that are not in use inside of the mini studio due to how it's set up. For example, you are never going to put your SD card directly into the Rodecaster Pro. Rather, you would put it into the Blackmagic recording deck to record your full production. Same thing with the record button. You do not need to click the record button in order to get audio sent into the TriCaster. This board is simply used to set the audio levels for the various inputs inside of the mini studio, aka the various mics, the USB computer, and any Bluetooth devices you connect. Alright, so now we're back here on the TriCaster, and I'm just going to show you how you can access the audio mixer on the TriCaster itself. Remember that in our pipeline here in the mini studio, the TriCaster is actually the last step before everything is sent into the recording deck. So you are controlling your shot composition and any kind of camera color or exposure settings through your RoboCam, and those are sent into the TriCaster as input 1 and 2. And the same thing with the audio. Any audio that you're recording via the studio is routed through the Rodecaster Pro into the TriCaster. So everything going through the Rodecaster Pro actually goes into the TriCaster over here under audio mixer into input 1. So input 1 is actually the full mix of everything happening inside of the Rodecaster Pro. And as you can see, as I'm going to turn down input 1, even though I'm not touching anything on the fader itself, I'm speaking to you via mic 1 on the Rodecaster Pro. As I turn this down, you're no longer going to hear me because this is the master fader for everything going through the Rodecaster Pro. Even though I'm still getting levels on the Rodecaster Pro itself, I'm not going to be recording levels because input 1 is actually setting the full kind of mix levels that is being sent into the Blackmagic recorder. So I'm going to count to 10, and then as I count to 10, I'm going to lower that fader, and you can see that it's actually going to affect what is being recorded. So 1, 2, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so it's very important that you actually make sure that you're getting audio levels on the Blackmagic recorder, and if your levels are a little bit too high or a little bit too low and you don't want to kind of mess with the overall mix that you've created on the Rodecaster Pro, this is kind of the last stop where the audio goes, where you're able to adjust it to make sure that it's hitting the correct levels, it's not peaking, going over 0, and it's not too low that it's going to be annoying to listen to. The switcher, the audio mixer itself over here is also useful to mix other audio that starts in the TriCaster. Typically that's just going to be over here, everything in blue. So your DDR1 and 2, if I'm playing sound of my DDR1, so let's say I have this River Bridge video and I'm going to hit play. This River Bridge video has sound, but if I go to my, let me make sure it's looping, but I'm going to go to my audio mixer, I see that the DDR1 has sound, maybe it's too low. You guys can probably hear it right now. As I turn it up, it's going to make it louder, and as I turn it down, it's going to mute it. Keep in mind, you can also mute all the audio by clicking on this kind of speaker icon over here, and that'll mute the audio from that source. So the audio mixer is very important to actually check out when you're working in the mini studio, especially if you're playing any audio from inside your DDR1 or 2, and also to kind of check the final levels of everything being recorded through the Rodecaster Pro.